What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning into my channel, Jace's Own World. This video is going to be about my 2017 Ford C-Max SE Hybrid. This video is going to contain a two-part series, and this video right here is going to be about part one of part two. It's going to be about the 5 things that I love, that I really like about my 2017 Ford C-Max SE Hybrid. So let's get right into this video right now. Let's get right to this video and start off with the 5 things that I really like about this Ford C-Max. It's a 2017 Ford C-Max Hybrid SE. And the very first thing that I really like about this car is its gas mileage, guys. I have put a little over 5,000 miles on this car now. So I have, driven it enough to know what kind of gas mileage this car really does get. And the great thing about it being a hybrid is it gets its best gas mileage in the city. And because I do mostly city driving, this is where this car is awesome. The gas mileage that I have calculated using my calculator with every single fill up, meaning if you haven't done this at all, not using your trip odometer inside the car. Sometimes those are pretty accurate, but most times those are not 100% accurate. And so you want to do it the calculator way. What you do is you fill up your car and then you reset your trip odometer to 0. And then when you go and use all the gas in your tank, or I usually fill up at about a quarter of a tank, which is better for the fuel pump. But what you do is when you go and refuel your car, you want to refill it to exactly the same way that you filled it up the first time or the time before. And then you take how many miles that your trip odometer went on that tank of gas, or whatever miles you went on that tank, and then you divide that by how many gallons you just put in the car, and that will give you your true 100% accurate miles per gallon. So let's get to what I get on this car. Currently, I have been averaging, and this is with the last 5 fill-ups, I've averaged 41.8 miles to the gallon. This is all city driving on these last 5 fill-ups. So yes, that's the first thing that I love about it. City mileage, 41.8 average. That's pretty awesome compared to the GTI when I was getting about 22 to 24 miles per gallon on that. So it's almost doubled just by getting this car. On the highway, it suffers a little bit because it's using more of the gasoline engine and not the electric motors in this car. So on the highway, it suffers a little bit of MPGs, but it gets about 37 to 38 miles per gallon, which is still good. Really, really good. But that's cruising at like 70 miles per hour plus, and just cruising on cruise control usually all that time. So 37 to 38, not complaining at all. So that's number 1, guys, fuel mileage. All right, guys, so number two on the list of the thing that I love about this car, the Ford C-Max 2017 SE, is its power. It's power. Now, I'm not saying that this car is super powerful, because it isn't. I'm not going to say it's a sports car by any means. It's not that. It's not any of that. But for a hybrid, a pretty basic hybrid, this is not like a very fancy car or anything like that. It's just a pretty basic hybrid. I think it's made off of the Ford Focus platform or something like that. So it's a pretty basic car, pretty basic hatchback. But this car, between the gasoline motor and the electric motor, almost has 200 horsepower. Not quite, but almost there. And the great thing about it is the torque of the electric motor is really, really, really good on this car. It gets up and go. If you go back to a short that I made, I show my 0 to 60 on this car. But it's really sweet because it has enough passing power on the highway. It has enough passing power on the street to get up and go. If you pull out in front of a car that's coming up too fast or something, it will get you going. And that electric motor really does kick in, and everything is really nice. It's really smooth. It's a really smooth working engine with the engine and the electric motor. So that's number 2 that I love about this car. It's really pretty peppy for what it is, as a basic hybrid car. It's not fast, like I said, but it has enough oomph to get you up to speed. It's not like the older Priuses. The new ones are actually a little more powerful than this one, but the older Priuses, they get really good MPGs, which people love, like 60 miles per gallon plus, but they all say they're so gutless, and that's what I did not want in a hybrid. I did not want something that was just completely gutless. So that's one thing that I really liked about this car. I looked at reviews and people said it had some pep, and so when I went and test drove it, they were not lying. It has some pep, enough to actually enjoy, and you're not feeling like you're a slug on the road. So number 2, it's power. All right, number 3 on the list of things that I love about this car is its storage space. Now, in the front, the storage space is lacking for the driver and the passenger and the rear passengers and stuff. And I'm comparing this to the Mark 7 GTI and pretty much any Golfs, really, because VW just knows how to use storage space really, really well for like cup holders and storage. And it's a basic car, but they do it so good. That's not what this car is. Okay, that's not what this car is. But as far as the car having storage, which is number 3 on my list, I do like it a little better than the GTI in some ways. Like I said, not in the front, but in other ways. Like, for example, in the trunk. Oh, by the way, I got a automatic release in the trunk, which is pretty sweet on this model. So here in the trunk, there is definitely more storage space here in the trunk than there is in my GTI. And that's even with this lifted little gate here. It's a little higher off the ground, but it has a lot of space. It actually comes with a little thing to like secure. So it has a little shade that, when you shut it down, you wouldn't even know if anything's in there, but I took that out. But the storage space is really, really good in this car. But not only is it really good right here, but you have some storage space right there, which is really nice. That's not something you get in the GTI. And I put my Volkswagen kit in there, my roadside assistance kit, and then some tools back there. But it's the perfect little spot for that stuff, and it's out of the way, never to be seen, folds down perfect, never pops up or anything like that. That's the storage space back there. But even cooler is, and I don't even know if all C-Max owners know about this, but if you put the front seat up like that, all right, and you go to the back seat here, it's good. The storage space is good. You got 2 places for some water bottles on both sides of the car, and you have your basic stuff back here. But if you lift up, and this is on the driver's side as well, if you lift up the carpet for the little mat in the back, you'll see this little thing right here, which is more storage space. You could put like an amplifier back there. You could put some treats, some whatever back there. And then it has more deep storage over here. So if you're into like sound systems, these are like perfect spots for amplifiers. But what I did on, and this thing clicks too, which is nice. So it's not gonna go anywhere. What I did on this side is I have a battery starter, a portable battery starter, and I put it underneath one of those. It's in the car, sight unseen, and nobody will really know that it's here. And that's really nice. So that's number 3 that I like about the Ford C-Max. Number 3 is the storage space in that regard. Now, like I said, in the front, the storage space is You do not have felt little holders right here. You have a cup holder, but it does not fit big water bottles or anything like that. I'll get my water bottle that I use right here. and just show you. This is my water bottle that I carry everywhere. Decent sized water bottle. Does not fit. Does not fit. All right. So that kind of stinks because in the GTI it does fit, and that's what I really mean about the GTI. Volkswagen really does make the ergonomics of the storage space for like cup holders and stuff like that very, very, very good. On this car, it's a lot more basic. It's a lot more econ type of car than the GTI is. The cup holders are okay. They don't really hold much, and it doesn't fit my large size water bottle either. So that kind of stinks. So that's what I'm talking about in the front. And then other than this, which is a little deeper than the GTI, has some space, but it's just, that's it. There's nothing else. The glove box is kind of There's space and stuff, but it's kind of everything flies around. And so that's really all. That's the one thing that I miss about my GTI. I miss the center console with the storage in the middle there and all that, and just everything is a little fit nicer in the front. But as far as actual, like if you took this on a trip or whatever and had some space, or you're working and you fit big things in the car, this car can actually hold bigger items inside the car because it's bigger inside the cabin here than the GTI is. I've already put my ski bike inside the car perfectly fine in this Ford C-Max. On the GTI, I could not do that with the skis attached to the ski bike. So there's a little more space in that regard. So that's number 3 on things that I like about this car, is the storage space. All right, number 4 of the things that I like about the 2017 Ford C-Max. I pretty much goes for any C-Max, but mine is a 2017. Anyways, but number 4 on my list is the handling. The handling, guys. Now, a good handling car has a good seating position. This one is very econ. This one's very econ, but the seating position is not bad. I'm all the way back because I'm 6'4" tall, and this has the tilt and telescoping steering wheel, and it's all the way up for me, and I can comfortably go like this with my seat back all the way. I'm not like leaning forward. That's one thing about the GTI that I do not like that much, is the steering wheel does not come out far enough. This one comes out a little further, or maybe this seat doesn't actually go back, because the GTI seat actually goes back. There's a little less leg space, but this is not a sports car. It's just an econ car, a commuter car. And so it's going to be commuter style. But what I like about it is the handling. And so a good handling car, you have a good seating position, you have a good, to length to the shifter here. And this is also nice because it has a good armrest, nice and thick leather wrapped armrest, or more like pleather, but it has the perfect little, armrest height, and I can rest my hand on the shifter if I want, even though it's an automatic. I know it's not manual, but when I'm driving this car, it's very numb. I'm not saying that the handling is amazing, but for what the car is, a commuter car, an econ car, it's a hybrid. It's meant to just be driven basic and get good gas mileage from A to B. That's what this car is. But for what it is, it's great handling. Now, like I said, the steering is very numb. You don't get a lot of feel through the steering when turning or anything like that. But what I do like about the car is the pitch and dive in this car. When I'm going around a turn, and I've pushed this car several times around corners just to get a feel for it. And yes, the car does sway. It sways quite a bit. But when you come in hot into a corner and you press on the brakes to transition that weight into the front, because it's front wheel drive, and then you correct with your steering and you get on the gas and you do all that, the pitch and dive in this car is excellent. It will actually take a corner really, really, really fast, and it makes this car a lot funner than the car really should be. It makes it a lot funner than the car should be. I was not expecting this car to be a great handler. I was expecting it just be like whatever. But when I actually started pushing it, the car is very stable through corners. Now, transition corners, now if I came in hot to a right, and then I came out of that right through with the gas and everything, and then I transitioned into a left, it's not so great because there's a lot of sway. But if you're just taking like a sharp right hand or a left hand turn and you want to push it, it really is stable very, very well. And I think a lot of that has to do with the weight of this car. I think it's almost 3,700 pounds with me in it. It's definitely over 3,700, probably 3,800 pounds because I weigh over 200 pounds. But I think the weight and where the batteries are located like gives the car a little lower center of gravity, and it just pushes through corners really well. Like I was like, dang, this car is crazy. Now it's just weird because you're not getting so much feel through the steering wheel, but you can actually get through it without, you know, without feeling like the car is going to lose control or you're just like out of whack with the steering or anything. You're still getting a little bit of feel through that corner. And so that's one thing that I really like about this car is for what the car is, a basic commuter, just econ car, it has really good handling characteristics. A lot better than a Prius. It's even my parents have had at least two, I think more than two, but the two that I know that they've had with hybrid cars, they've had an Altima hybrid, which had the 3.5 engine, so it was really nice. That was a hybrid. They also had a Lincoln hybrid, and that one drove really well. But as far as handling goes, this car handles better than both of those cars. So it's a pretty basic car, but I think it's just how big the car is from front to back, and it's a little wider than, you know, some other cars, and the weight and the center of gravity, all that mixes in and it handles really well through corners. Transition, no. Pitch and dive, yes. So number 4 is the handling of this car that I like. All right, so we are on the last thing that I like about this car, the 5th thing that I like about my 2017 Ford C-Max. And that is the ride height mixed with the getting in and out of the car. Not only is it a lot nicer because the GTI is low and the seats are low. This car's seats are not that low. So you have a higher ride height in the seat, which some may or may not like. It doesn't really bother me anymore. It kind of bothered me in the beginning, but I've gotten used to it, so it's pretty good. But the ease in getting in and out of the car, not only myself, but others have also, especially my mom, she really appreciates it because she hated getting into the GTI. But as far as getting into the C-Max, she has no issue. She drives an SUV. She likes that because it's higher off the ground. It's easier for her to get in and out. She doesn't have a problem with this car. So let me just show you. I mean, you already saw me get in the car before, but it's really simple. And, you know, because the car is a little higher off the ground, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. And so there's no like bending my back or putting my arm up here, you know, that's what I would do with the GTI because it's lower, and I didn't want to put all the pressure on the bolsters of the seats so that they don't wear out, you know, over time. So when I got out of the car, I would put my arm right here and then I would boom and go like that. I don't have to do that with this car, which is nice. It's just high enough and it's comfortable and it's easy. So, you know, this was it was hard to find 5 things that I liked about this car because there's not a lot about this car, but I was trying to like find it. And when I was getting in and out of the car, I'm like, you know, that's something that I like. So number 5 on this list is the in and out of the car, the ease of access. And so that's really good about the Ford C-Max. All right, guys, I hope you liked that little bit of video that I just made, the 5 things that I like about my Ford C-Max SE Hybrid. This probably goes for all of them because they're all the same. Mine's just a 2017. I hope you like that. I really do highly recommend this car. They're a little more expensive than they were a few years ago, but they're not crazy expensive still. The car drives really nice. It's comfortable. It gets really good gas mileage. If you drive a lot and you need something better on gas mileage, I highly recommend this car. I think you would like it. It has the space, it has the power, it has the gas mileage, it's ease of access, it's fun. There's a lot to like about this car, and you don't have to pay a lot for it. Basically, the money that I am saving in gas in this car compared to my Mark 7 GTI is almost paying for the monthly payment that I have on this car, guys. So check it out if you're interested. But thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell if you haven't yet. Thank you for all of you who are new to this channel. I appreciate you coming, and I have a lot more coming for the channel, but I will talk about that a little more in the next video of part 2 of the 5 things that I do not like about the Ford C-Max. So wait for that video, and until the next video, peace.